Oh, hey, didn't see you there. So you're probably wondering, what is Scientology? Scientology is supposedly one of the most prominent religions in the United States. It is also one of the most criticized. Scientology claims they currently have over 10 million members worldwide. However, critics say the religion has around 30,000 members at this current time. Scientology was started by a man by the name of L. Ron Hubbard in the year of 1953. In the year 1941, L. Ron Hubbard joined the Navy during World War II. He was discharged 4 years later and was told he may not be re-enlisted. After his time in the Navy, Hubbard started to become a popular fiction author. Hubbard is known for writing the most fiction books for a grand total of 1,084 fictional books. The most popular book that Hubbard has ever created was a book called Dianetics. Dianetics is about the metaphysical relationship between the body and mind. L. Ron Hubbard eventually made Dianetics into what he called an applied religious philosophy, known as Scientology.
Now, how does one join Scientology? There are many ways to join, but we will show you the most used method. First, you find one of your local Scientology churches. Next, you find a Scientology staff member and ask about meeting a counselor, also known as an auditor. The staff member then takes you to an auditing room where you meet your auditor. After a little bit of communication between you and the auditor, you are then hooked up to a device called an e-meter. For those of you who do not know, an e-meter is a device that determines if someone is telling the truth or is lying. As you hold on to the e-meter, the auditor asks you about past experiences and details about your life. After an extended period of time of you telling the auditor every one of your secrets, you are now officially on your way to becoming a Scientologist.
Okay, so that's $800 an hour times 3. Wow, okay, $2,400. Thank you. Thanks for doing business with us today. The current leader of Scientology is named David Miscavige. David Miscavige is the son of famous Scientologist Ron Miscavige. Ron and his family joined Scientology in the year 1971, and Ron eventually moved him and his family to the World Scientology headquarters in England. Shortly after moving to England, David began conducting Scientology auditing sessions at the age of 12, and he became the youngest professional Scientologist auditor. After a brief time in England, Ron and his family moved back to America, where David attended high school. After some time at school, David began to realize that school was not for him, and he asked his father if he could join the Sea Org. His father agreed to David leaving school, and on his 16th birthday, David moved to Clearwater, Florida, and joined the Sea Org.
Now you are probably wondering, what exactly is the Sea Org? The Sea Organization is one of our finest organizations in the church. It is composed of the most dedicated Scientologists, men and women who have dedicated their lives to volunteer to promote our religion. Sea Org members work long hours with very little pay. However, Sea Org members receive free housing, meals, uniforms, medical and dental care, and free transportation to all duties assigned by the church. Members participate in Scientology training and auditing for a portion of the day. Besides that, they dedicate themselves to further objectives for the church's future. So if you are looking for a meaningful adventure, then join the Sea Org today.
David Miscavige started working hard at the Sea Org, doing things such as delivering telexes, groundskeeping, food service, and taking photographs for Scientology brochures. David then joined a group called the Commodore's Messenger Organization, also known as the CMO, a group that ran L. Ron Hubbard's errands. After some time, David began to get closer to L. Ron Hubbard. After gaining Hubbard's trust, David took over the CMO. After some time, Hubbard began to appear at public functions related to Scientology less, and David began to take control over Scientology at this time. Years later, L. Ron Hubbard passed away, and a vacuum of power began. After this, David Miscavige assumed the position of the head of Scientology.
So we can help. Well, I'm telling you, total freedom. We are for total freedom here, and that scares you. You don't want people becoming more aware and more free.
Is that your security badge? Why is it turned away? No. Right.
Hi, we like freedom of religion. You are
After David Miscavige took over, David moved him and his family to Gold Base. The Gold Base is the international headquarters of the Church of Scientology located in California. It consists of 1,000 members of the Sea Org who live and work on the base. The Gold Base is a confidential area that is closed to the public. It's surrounded by barbed wire, and only those who are given permission can enter. Scientology describes the Gold Base as the ideal setting for professional and spiritual growth, but ex-members have come out and said the staff members are paid only $50 for a 100-hour work week and are subjected to punishment if they fail to meet the work quotas. The media reports that up to 100 people a year try to escape the Gold Base, but most are caught and returned by pursuit teams. Law enforcement investigations and lawsuits against Scientology have been thwarted by the First Amendment guarantees to religious freedom. Ron Miscavige, David Miscavige's father, lived at Gold Base with his family for quite some time. Ron, the one who got his son into Scientology, believed in his religion for over 40 years. Ron was very passionate about Scientology, and he truly believed the information that was given to him by Scientology. Life for Ron at Gold Base wasn't so bad at first, but as time went on, conditions began to get worse. According to Ron Miscavige, his son began to grow apart from him, and Ron claims that power got to his head. On Ron's 75th birthday, he received 75 gifts. One of these gifts Ron received was a Kindle. All technology at Gold Base has restrictions put in place. However, Ron's Kindle did not have any blocks installed on it. Because of this, Ron accidentally came across Google, which he had never seen before. After doing his own research on Scientology, he quickly realized that most of the things he was taught were lies. Ron quickly realized the horrible truths of Scientology, and he began to lose faith in his religion. After finding the truth, Ron wanted to leave Scientology and the Gold Base, but Scientologists are punished for leaving and having thoughts of leaving. Many ex-Scientologist members are stalked, financially ruined, harassed, and slandered. Ron knew that he would receive the worst of these punishments, being the father of the head of Scientology. Still, Ron decided he needed to leave Gold Base and Scientology. Once he escaped from Gold Base, he was stalked, slandered, and excommunicated by his family. After being stalked for many months by private investigators, a neighbor finally called the police about a sitting car outside of his house. The police checked the car and found 2 rifles, 4 handguns, 2,000 rounds of ammunition, and a homemade silencer. This is just one example of the many things that Scientology has been accused of being behind. There has been lots of criticism over the Church of Scientology over the years. However, Scientology still remains a popular religion in the United States of America. So we've only scratched the surface of what there is to know about Scientology. But the question still remains, what is Scientology?